Welcome back, viewers. In today's class, we will discuss few more important models from the continuity and differentiability. If you see in our last class, we covered how to solve the inverse trigonometric functions, how to solve the second order differentiation questions. All these topics we discussed already in our last video. So in today's video, let us see some more important models from the board point of view and from the chapter continuity and differentiability, right? So let's get started. So again, let's start with a very simple question. I think in the last video there is some problem at the end, and I wrote the question but I am unable to solve it. Sorry for that. And in this video I will start solving with that question. So if I have a question like this, y is equal to sine inverse of 2 power x plus 1 divided by 1 plus 4 power x, then find the value of dy by dx. So let us see this question. The basic point that you have to remember is whenever you are having the inverse trigonometric function, the first and foremost thought that you should get is how to cancel out the given inverse trigonometric function. That should be your basic point to start with. Later you have to think of what has to be required substitution that you have to take and you have to proceed with. So if you just observe here, this is a sine inverse function. That means this function should be sine of some angle, right? So first let us do some further simplification for the given equation. Later we will think of what is the corresponding substitution that we have to take. So if I start with y is equal to sine inverse of, this can be written as 2 into 2 power x. This 4 can be written as 2 power x. So this is a power m plus n, a power m into a power n, and this is just 4 I wrote as a 2 power 2. So we know that a power m whole power n is a power mn. Even if you swap the positions of the powers, still you will be getting the same answer. Now what I will do, I will try to swap the positions of these two. Why, I will let you know in the next step. So this is equal to sine inverse of 2 into 2 power x 1 plus 2 power x whole square. Now you might have understood by this time what is the reason for me to do the swapping here. Simple logic, this is the 2 power x, this is the 2 power x. So that means there I have a scope of substituting some value for this 2 power x. What value I have to substitute? So this question comes here. So this is a sine inverse trigonometric function, means this inside function should be some formulation of sine theta. So or sine some angle. So if I just try to recall the formulas, sine 2 theta is 2 sine theta cos theta. The another formula for this is 2 tan theta by 1 plus tan square theta. So even I know sine 3 theta as a 3 sine theta minus 4 sine cube theta. What made me to not to go for this formula? Simple thing. It's a 3 theta, you are having the terms with respect to 3 here. It's a terms are related with 2, so I can just restrict myself with the sine 2 theta formulations. It is very clear that the given formulation is now resembling with this formulation. You can just observe here 2 and this is the 2. Instead of tan theta, you are having 2 power x, denominator 1 plus, instead of tan square theta, I have a 2 power x whole square. Which means that it is giving you one clear cut idea that 2 power x has to be replaced with tan theta. Then what will happen? Y is equal to sine inverse of 2 into tan theta by 1 plus tan square theta. So this is sine inverse of sine 2 theta. This is the value of y. So y is equal to 2 theta we are getting. If you just observe, till now we didn't apply differentiation at all. We just simplified whatever given part to us, right? So if you have to find out the derivative for this, I have to replace theta with tan inverse 2x. 2 into tan inverse of 2 power x. See what made me to get this idea to replace theta with the tan inverse of 2 power x. Simple thing. Question given in terms of x. Answer also should be given, should be in terms of x. Simple logic as that. So if I apply the differentiation here, dy by dx is equal to 2 by tan inverse function differentiation is 1 by function, that means 1 by 1 plus x square, but this is not x, so inner derivative for that 2 power x you will be getting. So this is 2 divided by 1 plus 4 power x. We know that a power x differentiation is a power x log a. So if you just do the further simplification here, you will be getting dy by dx is equal to 2 into 2 power x by 1 by 1 plus 4 power x into log 2, right? So if you want this term, you can replace with the sine wave, or if you didn't get that thought, you can just leave the answer here itself. This will be your final answer. So the point you have to understand here is, whenever you are dealing with the inverse trigonometric function, please keep this point in your mind that you have to think of how to cancel out this inverse trigonometric function. Simple thing, if whatever the inverse trigonometric function that you have here, the corresponding function or its complementary function only will come here for as a substitution. The only part is, in the formulations of the trigonometric function, which formulation is exactly resembling with the given question. This is what logic you have to get. Once if you understand this part, remaining you will get an answer in the next step itself, right? Now let us see some more important and the simple models with respect to differentiation concept. Just take down one more question now. Take down this. If x is equal to tan of 1 by a log y, then show that 1 plus x square y2, 1 plus x square y2, 2x minus a into y1 is equal to 0. X is equal to tan of 1 by a log y, then show that 1 plus x square into y2, that means second order differentiation, plus 2x minus into y1 is equal to 0. Now let us see how to solve this one. See, before going for any solution also, please spend some time on understanding the question, and one more thing is, do we have to do any further modifications in the question? How you will get a thought of doing further modifications here? By observing the proving part. Simple as that. So if you just observe the proving part here, I am having 1 plus x square. If you just observe here, this is a tan of some function. So if I bring this tan function to the other side, I will be getting tan inverse x is equal to 1 by a log y. See, you may not get this step straight away. If you get this step also, it is not necessary that you have to proceed with this step. You just have to get that confirmation whether is it really the needful step for us or not, or will it help us to reach to the answer or not. This confirmation you should get, then only you have to proceed with the further calculation. If you just observe here, just do the mental calculation. If I apply differentiation here, what I will get? Differentiation of tan inverse x is 1 by 1 plus x square. That means somewhere that 1 plus x square term, whichever we required, is existing from this step if we apply the differentiation. So that means this approach is correct. I can proceed with this further step, right? So I will just bring this a also to the left side, because a is anyway constant, is equal to log y. Now apply the differentiation. A into by tan inverse x differentiation is 1 by 1 plus x square is equal to log function differentiation is 1 by y and then dy by dx, right? So from this you are getting ay is equal to 1 plus x square is equal to y1. Okay, now the next doubt that we will get is, do we have to proceed with this as it is, or we have to send this 1 plus x square to other side? Simple logic. 1 plus x square is in multiplication here, so better send this 1 plus x square to other side. I will be getting ay is equal to y1 into 1 plus x square, right? Now apply the differentiation. A is a constant anyway, a y1 you will be getting. If you observe here, this is a product of two functions, so you have to go for product rule. So y1 into, this is 2x, because one derivative is 0, x derivative is x square derivative is 2x, and then next 1 plus x square term will be as it is, y1 differentiation is y2. Now we bring all the terms to one side, so I will be getting 1 plus x square y2 plus 2x y1 minus a y1 is equal to 0. From these two terms, y1 can be taken as a common, 1 plus x square y2 plus 2x minus a of y1 is equal to 0. See how simply you got the answer here. The only one thing that you have to notice here is, are we doing in the correct approach or not? This is the only one logic that you have to get. After that, you no need to worry about the answer. You just have to take care of at every level of simplification, are you doing it in a correct way or not? This is the only logic that you have to hold on. Remaining part, it will come automatically. Okay? Right. Let us see some another question. Yeah, here. See this question. This one. E power x plus e power y is equal to e power x plus y. Then prove that dy by dx plus e power y minus x is equals to 0. See, this is a very simple question. E power x plus e power y is equal to e power x plus y. Then prove that dy by dx plus e power y minus x is equals to 0. See, it's a very simple thing. You just observe this. Just let me confirm the question once again. Okay, this correct question is correct. Okay, fine. Now see here, why I am saying the question is simple. It's the exponential function, so obviously differentiation part will become simple, right? So here the requirement is only dy by dx. We no need to apply the second order differentiation. So apply the differentiation. E power x differentiation is e power x. E power y differentiation is also e power y only. But as this is not x, you will be getting another differentiation. Similarly, e power x plus y is e power x plus y into, as this is not x, inner differentiation for that we have to take. X derivative is 1, y derivative is dy by dx. So our requirement is dy by dx. So let us spend some time on getting the value of dy by dx. So this is e power x, e power y dy by dx is equal to e power x plus y plus e power x plus y dy by dx. So as you need the value of dy by dx, bring all the dy by dx terms to one side, remaining terms to another side. So I will send this term to the right side and this term to the left side. E power x minus e power x plus y is equal to e power x plus y dy by dx minus e power y dy by dx. So you can take the dy by dx as a common here, and if you send the term to other side, dy by dx is equal to e power x minus e power x plus y divided by e power x plus y minus e power y. Now the question comes here is, till here everyone will do correctly. The problem here is, after this, how to arrive at this term? This is the common question that students will get. See, simple thing, in the proving part, if you just observe, you need x and y term together, indicating that these terms are not needed. So you should make an attempt to cancel out those terms. If you just observe from the question, e power x plus y can be replaced with e power x plus e power y. So that means this is e power x minus e power x plus e power y divided by e power x plus e power y minus e power y. So if you do the further simplification, e power x minus e power x minus e power y divided by e power x. So finally you are getting dy by dx is equal to minus e power y by e power x. So if you do the further last step, you will be getting dy by dx is equal to minus e power y minus x. Why? Because a power m by a power n is a power m minus n. So bring this term to left side, you will be getting dy by dx plus e power y minus x is equals to 0. So the point that you have to notice here is, in sometimes the proving parts makes you to use the question in between for getting the answer. If you remember this logic I told you when we deal with the second order differentiation itself, that time also I told you, at every level of solving, try to make use of the previous part of the question to get the answer. That logic cannot be restricted with respect to only second order differentiation. You can use with respect to first order differentiation also. The only part is, whenever you are simplifying, try to keep the question in your mind. At anywhere, if you get a chance to use the question, better use it, because you will get in a very simplified way the answer is. Okay, hope you enjoy this video. In the next class we will solve some more important models that we have from the chapter 5, and then by next week we will start the chapter application of derivatives. Thank you.